difficult.
Well, and I didn't plan for my shoes. And I
Never know what a
can't-
day
I
will
can't
bring,
get a shoe
huh?
on this
That's
foot.
Oh, God.
It's too swollen.
That is
So
true.
I put my tennis shoe on this one to,
You have nothing on yet, Linda?
no,
I
just
didn't get to eat too much
the
today.
sock.
Well, order
Oh my God.
pizza.
I didn't hear you stuff
it-
in here.
is it
What
mine?
much is it?
Maybe I got a home cooked meal,
Okay.
you know?
There you go.
And Joe drove me so that he had to come sit in on the meeting.
I had to take my mom for a doctor's appointment today. And get the walker out for her and everything, in Cleveland Clinic, and luckily it was only swollen, but.
Looks good. It's streaming.
The heat on, huh? Yeah, turn the heat on now.
Turn the heat on. We're always either too cold or too warm in here.
Not for Diane.
No, this is perfect.
Getting to be old.
Okay. Everybody ready?
Mhm.
All right. I'd like to welcome everybody to the regular council meeting of the Village of Walton Hills of Thursday, June 18, 2026 at 7:01 p.m. Next order of business is pledge allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. I'd like to take a moment of silence for a deceased resident, Cassie Radicelli. She was 100, I think 100 or 101, unbelievable, huh?
101.
Yeah. One of the sweetest ladies in the village, but, I know her niece. Also like to take a moment of silence for any of our active duty, men and women that are serving our country right now. Okay, thank you, everybody. Roll call, please.
Councilman Nielsen?
Here.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Here.
Councilwoman Allen?
Here.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Here.
Councilman Whedon?
Here.
Okay, all council present, along with our law director, John Montello, our fiscal officer, Nicole Sell. We also have one of our sergeants, Mike Gervasi, here with us tonight too. Our planner and zoning consultant, George Smarigan, is also here with us. At this time, does any persons have anything before council at this time? Okay, well, I did invite George tonight, and the reason was our last COW meeting, there was a question from one of our residents about a group home going in the village and about zoning. I know we did answer that question in I think it was 2021. We reviewed all our, like a lot of surrounding communities, reviewed our ordinances. We did make some changes, whatever we could according to the state and federal Housing Act. But with that said, and people asking, I know council, legal, myself, the administration, me and Rob thought we'd have George review it again and see if there was any changes and see if we're where we should be. George, you want to speak to it and just kind of give a little bio about yourself real quick?
Be more than happy to. What happened is what we generally refer to as group homes. About 5 years ago, the state did a complete overhaul of the statute governing those. And when I say complete overhaul, I mean they changed the names, they changed the definitions, they updated the standards and criteria. And when they did all that, we immediately came and revised your zoning code to reflect those changes in the state law. So we made your definitions match their definitions. We made your standards and criteria match their standards and criteria. And when the question came up recently, Rob and the mayor reached out to me and said, you know, are we still up to date, or have there been modifications in the state law that we need to be aware of? There have been no substantial changes to the state law since that major overhaul about 5 years ago. So you match identically what is in the state statute. So all of your definitions, all of your standards and criteria are totally up to date with state law. And your requirements in the code are everything that you're permitted to do under state and federal legislation. As you know, there are some types of the larger style of group homes that you are allowed to control and regulate. We do that. The small ones you have to treat as single-family homes. The state and federal law won't let you do it any other way. And so those that meet those standards, you allow. The others we control. And so you have the most current and tightest set of regulations that you are permitted to have under the state statute. So you're doing everything you can do for your residents. I think, Mayor, you even got some compliments from folks who are aware of this information about the fact that you have what is considered to be the most current regulations in the area. There is no city in this region that has a more up-to-date regulation than you do. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to try to address them, but you're right up to snuff with everything.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. It came up last week again about the refuse containers, the number of trash bags or garbage cans that some of the entities have out on a weekly basis. Now, I know just from my own personal use of Kimball, Kimball allows all of our residents to put out 14 bags per week, which is substantial.
That's a lot.
And there have been some residents at sea, a few of these homes, I won't even mention where they're at, but a couple homes that have quite a substantial number of bags or garbage cans out per week. The question is, since they are operating as a business, even though, you know, our regulations are tight and up to date, can we somehow have them have a separate contract since they are a business with Kimball, as opposed to the village? Because the village does pay some of the bill, the yearly bill for the residents. At one point, we said, no, we're going to have the residents pay for it through an assessment, but the village has paid for the increases every year. So we're subsidizing all the increases. So that's where the question comes from.
Yeah, I understand, and I understand the concern. Unfortunately, the state statute won't let you consider them to be a commercial use.
Okay.
You have to treat them as if they are a single-family residence.
Oh, okay.
I know at times that creates issues in terms of things like parking, or as you're pointing out, you know, trash collection. But under the law, you have to treat them no different than you treat any other dwelling in the village. So if other residents are permitted a certain number of bags, they'd be permitted that certain number of bags. Now, if they exceed what Kimball will permit for a single-family residence, and there's an additional charge for that, they're certainly subject to that. But you can't make them operate under a commercial regulation as opposed to the residential regulation.
Thank you, sir.
Okay?
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Smergan, the big question that a lot of people have had, and we've been trying to relay this, I know I have and the mayor has, is why can't we regulate how many of these group homes can be in the village?
That's something that's been coming up, and there's been some discussion in the state legislature about controlling the concentration of the homes and putting some sort of limit based on perhaps the community's population. The legislature has not adopted that at this point, so there's nothing in the law that, and the other thing that's been talked about besides that kind of thing is even distance separations, so you don't get like 3 of them on one block. And again, while there's been discussion, and there's been committee discussions about it, the state hasn't acted to do any of those things. And short of them putting something in the state statute that would allow you to adopt such a regulation, under the current law, you don't have the authority to do that. So you're sort of stuck, but your concern is not unique. A number of communities have talked about this, have talked to their state reps about it, and if the state were to put something into the statute that would authorize you to at least do some sort of control in terms of concentration, that would be helpful, but it doesn't exist yet.
Thank you.
Any other questions for George from anybody live streaming too? Anybody?
No questions.
Okay. Before you go, George, I know another question that was, I had a resident call me and say, well, there's so many on this street and stuff, and I went back to Rob because I wasn't aware of any of that. So what I do know, which ones we have a total of 3 right now.
Yeah, 3.
We had 4,
Right, and one was
but the house on Delwood went back to a residential house.
Yeah.
It was sold, and it's back to a residential house.
Yeah, so
there's
the most
3.
you've had is 4.
Right,
And
and
now
that's
you're
what we
down to
might,
3.
we're gonna have, if this one,
It would
which
be
they
up to
did
4
buy,
again, so
yeah,
it'd be where you
that
were
would be
before.
4, we'd be back to where we have been. There's one on Dunham, Alexander, where's the other one? Conley, and then there would be another one. The one on Alexander isn't, that's a large facility. That is different than.
And that has a different set of regulations.
Yes.
That's a
The
totally
one
different.
across from the gospel house, that's a different.
And any proposal to bring in a large facility, you do have controls and ability to deal with. It's the small ones, you know, the 6 or fewer residents that you don't really have any ability. You have to permit them and you have to treat them as if they're a single-family dwelling by state law and by federal law.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, again, then, going back to Councilman Spitznagel's question, if they're a larger facility, that is a place that has got over a dozen cans out every week, and they stay out over the weekend, and so is that something that we would be able to?
If you have a facility that was licensed having a larger number of residents, then they have a different status under the state statute, and you can create separate rules for those. It's those small ones, those ones that go in the regular single-family dwelling, you can't do anything with those. But your larger facility, you could create rules.
We can look at that. I'll have Rob look at that, and he can consult with you, George.
I'm certainly willing to work with him on it.
Okay.
All right?
Anybody else have any questions for George? You know what question I'm gonna ask you, George. Do you want to stay?
Actually, I have another meeting to go to after this, so.
Nobody have been your.
He has fingers
You
crossed.
know, I have to tell you, sort of, you know, the business I'm in, I have as many night meetings as I have day meetings, okay? And so it just, so there are some nights when I double up, but I promised you I would come this evening.
You
And
did.
so I wanted to get here, and I appreciate you putting me on first because it gives me some time to get to the other meeting.
George, can you give some, just for, because we are, you know, we YouTube and we have some residents that have never met you or heard you speak in front of us, or I know you attend planning commissions with me and Councilman Whedon, and the zoning. Just kind of give a little bio about yourself.
Sure. I have a master's degree in city and regional planning. I have worked in both the public sector as a planning director for communities and in the private sector now as a consultant. I've been doing this, as you can tell from the hair, like 50 years. I am by contract the planner for the city of Beechwood, the city of Pepper Pike, the city of Warrensville Heights, the city of Strongsville, and the city of Olmsted Falls.
And Walton.
And I serve you as well. So, I'm on both sides of town, I'm all over the place, I do quite a bit of this. As your law director knows, I occasionally take on projects with other communities, on an ad hoc, as-needed basis. But those communities that I identified, I do regular work for them. I'm, essentially their staff planner without being on staff. And that's essentially the way I've worked with you is anytime the mayor or Rob needs something, they are free to call me. If I need to come in and work with you on something, as I have on some of the development projects, that's what I'm here for. So, been doing this for a long time, and I don't profess to be particularly bright, but if you do it long enough, you'll learn a few things, okay?
Well, Mayor, we're glad you're working here. We've used you for several years, and we're happy that you're here.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that.
Any questions for Mr. Smergan from anybody in the audience or the live stream or console? All right, George.
If not, then I'll head on to the next one.
sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll keep moving here. I have item 6, which is the mayor's report. Here's the mayor's court revenue for the month of May 2026. The Walton Hills Police Department issued 78 citations in the month of May. The predominant violation was speed with 35 citations issued. An additional 5 citations were issued for aggravated speed, followed by 17 citations issued for expired plates, 9 citations issued for driving under suspension. We had 1 arrest for driving while under the influence of alcohol/drugs. Okay. Also have the monthly mayor's court receipts report. For the month of May, the total revenue was $21,722.50. Year to date, $110,022.12. Last year to date was $83,289.91. So we are up from last year with those receipts. Any council comments at this time? Okay. Nikki, did you want to add anything for the tax budget? I know you have finance discussion. Was there anything you wanted to add at that time?
I didn't need to add anything for the tax budget. If you're ready, I can give you my finance report.
Yeah.
So for the month of May, RETA collections were up 35.03% over last year and 9.9% for the year. Revenues exceeded expenditures for all funds by $550,676.37 for the year. The general fund expenditures exceeded revenues by $15,496.12. The village received $9,003 in interest income for the month. A good thing this month was RETA was able to reduce the cost of collections for 2025 to 0.85% or 85 cents for every $100 of taxes collected, which equated to a total cost for 2025 of $39,707. In turn, the village was refunded $102,180 in retainer fees. Reimbursements received for capital projects for the year totaled $369,879.19 for the year to date. I submitted financial statements to everyone on Monday. I don't know if anybody had any questions. I didn't receive any.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Nikki, those are the same numbers that are in our journal, correct? On the front?
Correct. Yep.
So anybody in the village that needs to to know. It's right there for them.
Yes.
We did well on the reader refund.
Mm-hmm.
Mayor Colgraf,
Yes.
I have one question for Nicole. The reduction by Rita to the .85, is that a permanent reduction, or is that just for 2025?
Each year they do a calculation, and each year it's a little bit different. So this, I don't remember offhand what last year's was, but last year I think we received about 92,000. So they do a calculation on their, and they don't give us that calculation on what it costs to actually process all the communities that, within RETA, and then that's how they're able to.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Nikki, we had projected a year-end budget of -2 million, and right now we're standing at a positive of 550,000. Do you think we're gonna stay on trend to move away from that negative? I know you don't have a magic ball to look into and see, but
Are you talking for all of the funds?
everything all together.
We are pretty much on budget. If you look at, for the general fund, we are on budget. We haven't gone over any of our numbers. We might be a little bit higher on revenue percentage-wise. It all depends on what revenue comes in, honestly, and how much we can collect, or we get reimbursed for the capital projects. We intended to transfer, it was over $1 million from the general fund to supplement the other funds. So if we continue to increase our revenue, and the more that we get reimbursed for those capital projects, we may not have to transfer all of that, which would increase, you know, our general fund balance, which, if you note, at the end of the year is about 245,000. So we're still hoping on the revenue, but right now we're right around budget for the year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And those are some of the things the last few weeks, Nikki's, and Tom Jordan have been getting, and Melissa, the numbers together for the turf meeting. That will be in August, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So, Rita has been reviewing, and Nikki, and Melissa, the numbers from the two new businesses up there related to Great Day and Cardinal Health. So, making sure all that is in order. So hopefully we're gonna start seeing the payroll for the year for Great Day. Okay, any other questions for Nikki on the finance report? Finance discussion?
Mayor Colgraf,
Yes.
just a comment, a follow-up from a question from Councilwoman Allen. It is good to hear, you know, that we are receiving some reimbursements and, you know, to help bring down that projected negative balance. And potentially additional revenue is always a good thing. And where budgets get challenged is adding expenditures in the course of the year. That's, you know, it's good to have reductions. And then the more you stay on budget and stay within your budget, that helps to reduce that overall. So not creating additional expenditures is just as important.
And just to make it clear for the residents and stuff, if we just passed an operating budget, we'd have no problem, but we didn't pass, but we're passing as we go capital projects. We understand that you have to still continue with those capital projects, you know, paving the streets, doing some of those, the sewer maintenance. Those are things we understand we have to do. So a lot of that put us in the negative budgeting was because of improvements, not because we're not managing our money well in operating. Operating, we're doing good. we are doing projects that we know we can't put off that need to be done. And that's really what is putting us over our budget. And a lot of those, sometimes people will say, well, you're not paving the roads. That's because they don't see a lot of the roads that we're doing unless they drive down them. You know, we'll be doing a development, Ryan Estates up on Dunham. That's already started. That was a big project. The sidewalk project on Northfield is a large project. But both of those projects, we received grant money, and that grant money has to be spent in a time frame. And we certainly don't want to miss that time frame and lose that money and then have to pay the whole expense to make those repairs or those improvements. So, just to kind of add to that. Any other questions related to the finance discussion? Okay. Then we just want to go through the legislation then. Sergeant Gervais kind of worked out that we have that legislation the last, because we'll probably need some discussion with that. Okay, who would like to introduce item A for suspension?
Mr. Mayor.
I'm going to stop up for a second. I just want to let everybody know, this is a council meeting, we had 2 COW meetings, we went through all this legislation, and then this is the meeting when we have it on for vote. So we vetted all this stuff, a lot of it more than even these 2 meetings. I'm sorry, Jeff, go ahead.
I'd like to introduce for suspension resolution number 2026-25, a resolution authorizing the mayor and the village engineer to make application for a community development block grant and a community development supplemental block grant in the total amount of $200,000 and declaring an emergency.
Is there a second?
Second.
Vote, okay, who got that? Brian? Okay, vote on the suspension.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay, suspension passed 5-0.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask for adoption of resolution 2026-25.
Is there a second?
Second.
Vote on the adoption.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay. All right, resolution 2026-25 passed 5-0. Thank you, everybody. We have item B. Who would like to introduce that for suspension? Council President Whedon.
Mayor Colograph, members of council, I'd like to introduce resolution number 2026-27 for suspension of the 3 reading rule, a resolution adopting the tax budget of the village of Walton Hills, Ohio for the fiscal year of 2027, directing that the same be submitted to the fiscal office of Cuyahoga County and declaring an emergency.
Second.
Second, Councilman Nielsen. Vote on the suspension.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay, suspension passed.
Mayor Colograph and members of council, I'd like to ask for the adoption of resolution number 2026-27.
Second.
Second, Councilman Nielsen. Vote on the adoption.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Resolution 2026-27 passed 5-0. We have item C, resolution 2026-28, zoning board of appeals appointment. We did have Wayne Johansson, who served on the board. His term expired. He asked to not be reappointed. He could have had that opportunity. He did a great job. We were fortunate to have him for his terms that he was here. He said he needs to back off a little bit, with retirement. I said, well, how old are you, Wayne? He said, well, 80 years old. I said, well, I guess that's a good reason to kind of back everything off. So tonight, we did post it in the journal, our usual time frame. We did have a letter of interest from Dylan Brumfield, who was here tonight, So I'd like to ask council, I'd like to appoint Dylan to the board, with your approval tonight. Dylan, you wanna come up and just kind of say where you live and a little bit about yourself and how long you've been here, whatever you feel is appropriate. You would have a background that's appropriate for the zoning board too.
Yeah, appreciate your guys' time. Yeah, I'm Dylan Brumfield. I'm a Walton Hills resident for 5 years. Father of 2, husband, construction manager is my profession. I'm a senior project manager for a vertically integrated multifamily developer in Cleveland, Ohio. So my background's mostly in the construction side, but familiar with zoning and permitting and municipal stakeholders and in the best interest of the community. So just wanting to help out and saw the opportunity as an opportunity to join and be a bigger part of the community. So
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah,
we
thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, thanks. Who would like to introduce that for suspension?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilwoman Kanzoni.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to introduce for suspension Resolution Number 2026-28, a resolution confirming the appointment of Dylan Brumfield as a member of the Board of Zoning Appeals of the Village of Walton Hills and declaring an emergency.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Allen. Vote on the suspension.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay, suspension passed 5-0.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask for adoption for Resolution Number 2026-28.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Allen. Vote on the adoption.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, adoption passed 5-0. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dylan.
no problem.
You're welcome to stay or for the meeting, and I will get, I'll let the committee chairman know and, the other members, and, give you a call and kind of, and any other questions, you're welcome to call myself, anybody on this board, that's a council member, administration, or Mr. Montello.
Great.
As of right now, there's, nothing in front of the zoning board. Okay, we have item D, resolution 2026-29, confirming the appointment of Martin Stimple as chief of police. Before we do that, I know I do have Mr. Stimple here tonight. Do you want to just, Marty, I know we interviewed and the council is familiar with you, but just kind of give a little background about yourself for the people that are watching a live stream or might watch a live stream or that are here.
Sure. First of all, I wanted to thank you, Mr. Mayor, and all the council members for giving me this opportunity. It's just a fantastic
Well, we got to vote on it
opportunity.
yet, so.
If you guys
Possible,
vote me in.
possible opportunity.
And I just want to say thank you again. And my name is Martin Stemple. I'm my beautiful wife Vicki and I have been residents here in the village for about 11 years. And I'm originally from the west side, graduated from Valley Forge High School, served 5 years in the Marine Corps right out of high school, and then shortly after that I got hired in Bedford as a rookie patrolman, spent 35 years there, and my last 7 years there I was chief of police. I've been retired from Bedford for about a year and a half, and this opportunity came up, and I was very excited to be able to apply. And just say if you guys vote me in, I'm really looking forward to working with all of you and the fine men and women next door at the police department.
Thank you. Who would like to introduce that for suspension?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Nielsen.
I would like to introduce for suspension ordinance number 2026-29, a resolution confirming the appointment of Martin Stimple, Chief of Police for the Village of Walton Hills, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Second.
Second by Councilman Spitznagel. Vote on the suspension.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Nielsen.
I would like to ask for adoption of ordinance number 2026-29.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Spitznagel. Vote on the adoption.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay, resolution 2026-29 passed 5-0. Thank you, everybody. Okay, congratulations.
Now we can call him chief?
No, not yet.
Not yet, you gotta swear him in first.
You gotta be sworn in, and we do have to do all the HR things have to be. But now we can move forward with those. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. So we have item E, ordinance 2026-6, the cybersecurity program. Who would like to introduce that for suspension?
Mr. Mayor, I'd
Councilwoman Allen.
like to introduce for suspension ordinance number 2026-6, an ordinance adopting a cybersecurity program in accordance with Ohio Revised Code, section 9.64C for the Village of Walton Hills and declaring an emergency.
Is there a second?
Second.
Vote on the adoption.
Councilman,
Not the adoption, the suspension.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Suspension passed 5-0.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask for adoption of ordinance 2026-6.
Is there a second?
Second.
Vote on the adoption.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2026-6 passed 5-0. Thank you, everybody. Okay, we have ordinance 2026-8. We approved that in the budget to lease 2 vehicles. So we do have that and the equipment in the budget. We're a little, what we budgeted for is a little less, it's a little less than the current, so we probably down the road, we might have to make an appropriation. But we need to discuss it a little more tonight. When we left the meeting last Tuesday, we were ready to vote on this for suspension, but Mike and Nikki did some more research on it, because there was a few things you guys had questions on, they had questions on, some of the state bidding, and so, I know, Sergeant Gervaisi did get another quote, it is in front of you, but it's a different, dealership than what we have on here, and there's just some questions, so I know I did have, before the meeting, a brief discussion with Councilman Allen, who chairs the Safety and Insurance Committee. So, and I did talk a little bit with John, we just kind of talk through what we want to do, but let me just set the table a little bit. We moved this meeting from Tuesday to Thursday because we thought there was going to be some economic development that we might need to talk about tonight, okay? That is still in the process, but they might, the CRA agreement's in place, but some of the things moving forward might not take place till tomorrow or Monday. With that said, it looks like I'm gonna have a regular, not regular, but a special council meeting maybe next week or the following, try to get it in June here, so you guys can see that CRA agreement, have those discussions with Councilman Jordan, Brennan Hill, our law firm that handles our economic development, along with law solicitor Montello, to kind of go over that, because it looks like if it goes through tomorrow, Monday or Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday, we would look at a meeting for July 23rd or 24th, okay? But what I'm saying about that is, when it comes to these cars, and we'll have more discussion on it, I know we're gonna have a meeting coming up, just so you guys get presented with that CRA agreement. So, it's not the end all. I was sharing with Sergeant Gervaisi, Nikki, and Councilwoman Allen, we know we're gonna have a meeting, so we could put this on there depending on what you guys wanna do. So Nikki and Mike, you wanna just kinda talk about what we're at, or, you know, what the state pricing isn't gonna come out, or you wanna talk to that a little bit, Nikki or Mike, or?
I can tell you just what I know, and I can let Mike finish up, is that we tried to contact the dealership to see if our quote was at state bid. When I found out the state bid pricing doesn't come out until October. So I'll let Mike talk to that as far as the pricing and how the whole state bid process goes.
Back in March, the 2026 orders for the book, for the orders for 2026, they closed. They opened the book for a brief moment in time. Usually it's normally 3 to 6 months, and once that order book is full, they close it, which makes no sense, and none of the dealership people could give me a good answer. If they're taking orders for 2027s, which opened May 15th of this year, why is it taking almost 6-7 months for the state bid to come out? That doesn't make any sense. So it's sort of like you have to pre-order for the vehicle, put your name on the book, and then the state bid comes out. I don't know how that pricing works. I just can't understand the whole thought process of putting a state bid out 10 months into the year. What you're asking is 5 months into the year to bid on something. And like I spoke to Nikki earlier, 2026 vehicles, some are on the lot, but those ones that are on the lot are not the ones that we have. And to compare 2026 to 2027, would be like trying to compare 2025 to 2026. The technology's different, the equipment's in the vehicles are different. And some of the equipment that we have, we had a accident that occurred. If we did not have that particular piece of equipment, that vehicle would have been totaled and it had less than 300 miles on it. So that piece of equipment, that skid plate under there, literally saved the vehicle from being totaled within 3 weeks of it being on the road. So.
But what I kind of shared, and I know John didn't get a lot of time to digest this, but you, Nikki, and Jennifer, Nikki, and Mike kind of shared it, is maybe we don't, maybe, you know, we pass, and I think we've done this before, a letter of intent to go on the list to get that state pricing. I think we, you know, that is something maybe we would do next time instead of this. I think, because being the amount of money, I probably should even get another quote if you decided you didn't want to, you know, you wanted to get cars now and didn't want to wait or whatever. So we got some questions that kind of need to be answered. So just talking to John, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to table that. The other question is, Jennifer brought, should we, and that's up to you guys how you feel, and maybe John Wayne, should we pass the other items? So, okay, the cars, we know we have to do, you know, kind of get that straightened out a little bit. But what should we do about the outfitting and the other? Should we wait and do it all at once, or, so if you want to chime in, whatever you thought, Jennifer.
Yeah, my concern was that these bids have an expiration date.
Yes, ma'am.
And so my concern was the price is only gonna go up.
That's
We
correct.
can pass the other legislation. We don't have to buy it right now, but we got the legislation passed, it's ready to go. We could put a purchase order in, so they know, again, like a letter of intent, that it's coming. But that's where my viewpoint was. I just hate to see an increase in all of that other equipment.
That would be
Mr. Mayor?
something we would have to speak to the individual suppliers, rugged books for the computers, Motorola, because Motorola, they always have an increase it seems like every 6 weeks they're having an increase. And as far as how public safety, they normally don't do sporadic increases, usually they're yearly.
Mhm.
But that's something that we'd have to contact them individually and talk to see what they would do.
Okay, well, if that's something that we can do, and then we can know for the next council meeting, we can leave the rest of that legislation on hold, because it's only going to be 1 to 2 weeks out.
That's my opinion is that we table everything, and then see, you know, with time for Nikki and Mike and John to see, you know, what is the best way to move forward with this.
Well, Mr. Mayor, that's what I
Yeah.
was saying.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
we
right.
can wait on the rest of that
Right.
legislation because we're anticipating within 2 weeks,
Another meeting.
another meeting. And we could possibly, if you talk to the vendors between you and Nikki Sargent, and one of them's like, yeah, you know what, I'm only gonna keep this open until July 15th for you, then we'll pull the trigger.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Is there a, in the vein that you were speaking, Sergeant, a time limit, even though we pass this, but we don't have the cars actually in stock because of this?
They're building them.
Yeah, is there a time limit that that vendor, for all the upgrades on the vehicles, won't honor this, even though we passed it? You know, I can see them saying, okay, it's fine that you passed it, but you gotta get it done within a certain amount of time. You can't wait a year and a half and then get it done.
Traditionally, what we've done, sir, is once we've ordered the cars, because there's a logistical, sometimes the cars, like I said in the last meeting, the cars might show up in 6 weeks, just depending on where we fall in that build order. So in the event that they go 5, 6 months out, maybe 3 or 4 months, there's times with the suppliers as far as Satina, Wheeland, because they may have a big back order on the partitions or things like that. So normally with the equipment inside, that's usually about a 3 to 6 month period. With Motorola, it could be the same time frame. So once we do place that order, then we're on there, and that would lock us in for any subsequential increases. So, and the same thing with the computers and things like that nature, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
What do you guys want to do?
Table it.
Table it then? Okay. John, do we have to do them individually, or can they do it, can we do them as a whole? How do you want to go about it?
Well, could those just go on as a first reading?
No, because, okay, go ahead. Say which, John, which would be better, first reading or a table? What do you think?
I think we just table it because I'm not certain we're gonna even get these same vehicles, you know, I'd rather just table everything until we get a little more information.
Okay, how can we, do we do them individually? Table it, you need, somebody needs to make a motion to table it, correct?
I guess you could do them all in one fell swoop. If somebody makes a motion referring to each ordinance,
Sure.
table.
Okay. And just a second, they don't need to vote, correct?
Well, the second, we could vote.
Okay, vote on it, okay.
Mr. Mayor?
We haven't tabled anything in a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
No.
I'm trying to think here. Yeah. Better to vote, always better to vote.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go ahead, Councilman Spitzney.
I'd like to make a motion to table ordinances number 2026-8, ordinance 2026-9. Mr. Montello, should I read the ordinances for each one?
Nah, we're not giving it a reading,
Okay.
just.
Mr. Mayor, again, I'll start over. I'd like to make a motion to table ordinances 2026-8, 2026-9, 2026-10, and 2026-11.
Second.
Second by Councilman Lee, Council President Lee. Vote on the motion.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Table it.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel?
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay. Ordinance is tabled as listed, 5-0, until we have further discussion and make some decisions.
Yes, sir.
Okay. For all the new business, the only thing I have, just to kind of go over, is myself or Nikki will be getting in contact with you, depending on what happens hoping tomorrow is Juneteenth, so it is a holiday. And we do observe that here in the village, and also some other places do, so we don't know what will happen tomorrow. I know we won't have Nikki here to push any of that stuff out, so Monday is probably the day, but some of the notices will, if it did happen tomorrow, would be pushed out from Brendan, which means it would go public at that time. If not, it would be Monday or Tuesday. So, as stated earlier, I'll get a hold of everybody and see what day everybody could be available to go over the CRA agreement, so it becomes public. So, and then we can also, have the police vehicles that worked out and decide how we want to move forward with that on that meeting agenda too. That would be the only two things right now. There would be, I don't know, there wouldn't be any action. It would be just, would it be action for these ordinances that we have on here? But economic development, probably an executive session, or it would be out, just depends on how Tom and Brendan, because if there's some things that aren't released yet, it might be an executive session. But just to get you ready, because we would then have a meeting, if everybody was comfortable, to pass the CRA agreement on the week of July 23rd or 24th, as discussed earlier. If that day goes further in the next week, then that pushes that up, because there's a 30-day time period from when the school board gets the notice, and if there's any jobs that are going to be being relocated to this facility. So that's where that stands.
Mayor Colgrove?
Yes.
So I just want to ask a question. So you're saying we could potentially meet next week just to get the,
Yeah.
okay. And then the 23rd, or somewhere in there,
23rd or 24th.
okay.
If we're within that 30 days, if not, then we would go into the following week of July. Because it depends on when, it's 30 days from when the school board and any other entities receive that notice. We have to wait, no action can be taken at that time. So then it gives a month for council to review it, ask any questions, or there needs to be changes, you don't want to pass it, or whatever, to go back and forth. Internally, but not, can't do anything until after that. But I want you guys to, we all want to see it. Gonna ask you to come in July 23rd and 24th to vote on it, and you've never seen it, or an opportunity to discuss it or decide whether or not we want to pass it. I think you're gonna want to pass it, from what CFE is gonna be probably one of the best things that happened in the village and since the Ford plant, but we'll see what happens. So, that's the only thing I have, besides Happy Father's Day. Sunday, there is the pancake breakfast at the lake. We do have Juneteenth tomorrow. I don't think there is anything as in the past going on.
Not the four communities collectively, but there is at 8 o'clock, well, gather at 7:45, but 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, there is a Juneteenth 5K walk and run at the Metro Parks. And I'm not exactly sure which part of the Metro Park, well, Egbert Road,
Okay.
probably the big pavilion. That was one of the events that was part of the four community celebration. And then the city of Bedford is having celebration for their residents only. And Oakwood has something at Mount Zion Church. I believe that's on Sunday, but I'm not sure. So happy Juneteenth to everyone. 3.1, 5K is 3.1 miles, so that's walk or run. So come on out. Walton Walkers, y'all hear that?
Can I drive it?
I'm gonna ride my bike over and see what happens.
Diane says she's in. Got her helpers there, you know.
She's gonna use her crutches.
Does anybody else have anything for old or new business?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I was just
Councilwoman Allen.
curious, one question and then something else, but do you know if we've gotten any sponsors for our 75th anniversary?
No, I didn't reach out to anyone. I
Okay.
decided, especially with what was going on with the development, we were trying to, there's just some things that have kind of, I can share, but it has to do with some of the businesses that, I decided maybe not this year.
Okay,
So-
I also have, I'm going to be reaching out to the safety committee, Sergeant Gervaisi, you and Sergeant Walsh as well, since you're the top two sergeants. I'd like to have a meeting for several items, talk about our grant status with Lexipol, how our vehicles are being stocked, the police vehicles, and also to get a date to start on the collective bargaining agreement. So I will send out an email, find out everybody's availability, and hopefully we can do that in the next week or two.
And with that said, I would like to join you
Mhm.
too, so if you can share that date,
Sure.
and if, the police chief is,
Oh, absolutely.
all sworn in and ready to go, we'll make sure he's in attendance.
Well, even if he's not, he's welcome to join. I just need to get your email address then.
Okay. Anything else, for old or new business?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for adjournment.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, vote on the motion.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Meeting adjourned at
Congratulations, guys.
7:58.
Dylan, congratulations.
Welcome to the team, Mayor.
Yep.
Thank you, Dylan.
Dylan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll get